Before we move on, I would like to share my experience.
Please.
Want
me to film you?
Yes, please. So you see how Dave's bananas here are all in a clump, kinda. So how many plants you planted first? One.
One.
Only one. Yeah. So when you plant a banana plant, whatever, it's gonna give out suckers, right? 4, 3, 4, 5, and then these are all the. So maybe the main plant was in the middle there.
Yep.
Then these are all the new shoots, the new pups or suckers. And then what I did, I planted my bananas in a circle. So I planted like 8 to 10 of them in a circle, and left the middle open. And then this way it's easier to mulch it. I just dump everything in there. And the other advantage is instead of having one corm, you have 8 to 10 different corms. And when it gives out shoots, I only leave maximum three plants per corm, and I separate all the other suckers and replant them at different locations. This way you propagate them faster, and you get better yields, and the plants grow faster and fruit faster because the mother plant doesn't have to divide the energy between all the suckers. Only the main plant and the second, and max the third. So only two or three plants per corm. So yeah, this is what I wanted to share. I'm not saying that this is not a good method. I mean, it's just different methods. But I find that method is pretty
That's
useful.
been what we've kind of adopted at Echo is keeping an adult, a juvenile, and a pup. And
How that worked out.
we also have some larger clumps that we just don't really manage very well. Like we let them just fill in and we never come through. And so it's a good compare and contrast. And the ones that we manage more intensively with just 3 in a clump seem to produce fruit every year reliably. And the ones that just have a huge clump of real thick, they've kind of stopped producing. They don't produce near as many bunches per stalks that are out there.
It directs
Some of the
energy.
stalks just.
I understand that the corm has a limited lifetime, like 5 to 10 years, or.
I don't know. I've seen some go, seems like a long time, and I've heard there is limited, and I've noticed not necessarily.
Or maybe just the output is limited.
Maybe so. I'm not sure about that.
Yeah, it seems like if they keep putting up pups and they keep going to full maturity, then it kind of just runs out of steam and it's too much of a nutrient sink to really produce a lot of fruit. So it seems actually more efficient to have fewer stalks.
To manage them and separate them,
Smaller
replant
clumps,
them.
yeah.
And one other tip, when you're transplanting, there's one, if you call it a sucker, the one that's very pointy like that one is called a sword sucker. And then you'll get other suckers that are more broad.
The water sucker.
Water sucker.
You want to get to the
Which one do you want to use for propagating?
sword.
Point.
Check that to be sure. That's what I understood. I was going to recommend Google it to see if I'm right.
I've read both. I've read that both will grow perfectly fine and that it's more of a nutrient issue. So again, I think it's just
Yeah.
run your own experiments, see, and tell us.
My
Be skeptical of everything.
was that the sword suckers definitely produced faster.
Really?
Sometimes even 5 months.
Oh yeah, 5 months.
ahead
Wow.
On certain varieties of red bananas that we had. I did kind of a little trial, not very scientific, but with sword and water sucker, and sure enough, the sword suckers, they went up a lot faster, and they flowered sooner and produced faster. So
Very cool.
a little anecdote there.
Thank you.
I would like to know why that is called a dwarf number. No part of that looks dwarfish.
The fruit is dwarf.
Okay.
This is the size they usually get.
Because it comes
So,
from Giants County.
The regular ones are like supposed to be like 20 or something like
Wow.
that. This is about
Mine are always this big.
your full size one.
Yeah, so you're doing a great job with a dwarf.
You know, it may very well be a full size, and they just sold me the wrong thing. I mean, you never know what you're getting, so it could be full. It was sold to me as a dwarf Namla, but I don't know.
And I also want to say that, just to back up further, in Honduras, we used the same practice of a banana Iho, they call him there, which is
The son.
the baby and
The
the
daughter,
junior.
right?
And so that seemed to be the accepted practice kind of across the board for industrial sized banana plantations. And they would be pretty religious about removing all the water suckers all the time as they came up, and maintaining just 3. And often they would remove suckers until the plant flowered, and then they would allow suckers after that point.
Oh,
So that was another thing that was a common practice.
So
good to
I'd
know.
like to comment on why I left this many. So I left this many because we get cold here. And I just have a theory, and it's only a theory and it may be completely bunk, that these guys are keeping each other a little bit warmer. I'm more concerned, I'm not as concerned about yield, although the yield here has been phenomenal, although admittedly I don't have it to compare against other places. I just have a theory that if I keep this nice and wet during a cold snap, that they're going to help keep each other warm, and that may be a load of hooey.
No, I think they create their own microclimate. Yeah, absolutely.
So,
Oh, sorry.
all right, anything anyone else wants to say?
Just really quick, I just started growing bananas at my mother-in-law's house. Actually, I put in a banana circle fed by a gray water system. But the main thing that seems to really be benefiting is it's a 6-foot circle like you have. In the middle, I dug out 18 inches deep and filled it with so it's like 6 feet wide by 18 inches deep of compost. And the suckers are all planted around the rim of that, so they're not in the compost, but they're like right on the edge of the compost.
Do you keep
And-
adding more stuff in
You
there?
can companion plant.
Yeah, and
inside
and
the
then
circle.
inside
With, like, taro.
inside the edges with taro, and it's taken off and it's grown really rapidly in 2 months, and everything seems to be healthy.
Yeah.
So that's my experience so far.
Yeah,
I
at,
did the same thing.
at PRI Australia, their banana circles are set up similar. They keep 3 generations, and they companion plant with taro, lemongrass.
That's exactly
Yeah.
what I did. That's the model.
Let's definitely add companion plants to this. That's a great idea. 'Cause I saw someone with pineapple near recently, and I thought that was a brilliant idea. But taro, all these things that you're talking about, we should definitely add that. Lemongrass, that's brilliant. There's look at all this wasted space right here.
Perennial peanut.
There you go, nitrogen fixers.
Sweet potato.
Sweet potato, cool. So get on the FL Permies, get onto the wiki. I'll have this up tonight. Add your companions that you know do well, or theory, stuff like that. Add all your information. We could turn this into some serious, awesome information. What were you going to say? I'm sorry.
This is great for drying and for frying too. This variety is the preserved banana choice in Southeast Asia.
I have dried these. They're super good raw. When they're dried, oh my god.
Sweet,
Just-
sweet.
Oh,
Intense flavor.
phenomenal. Just, I love this variety.
You mean dehydrated? Is that what you're
Yes.
referencing?
Yeah,
that's what I was
Okay.
gonna ask. You sliced and dehydrated?
Incredible. Yeah. Just so are the ice cream banana.
Little tiny.
Okay, so we're gonna go look at a banana that's deficient in potassium.
What's new, Andre? What's the news?
Fighting my